All right, October 22nd, 2022. So we are to believe that the Democrats are going into these midterms, which are coming up in just a couple of weeks, with surging inflation, deflation of 401ks, now real estate bubble deflating, meaning all of those that were planning on using equity basically in their homes as kind of like savings, right? They were counting on that money. They're starting to realize, they're starting to hit a little bit of a panic switch here. Well, what if these homes go back to the prices that they used to be when we paid, and all of our equities is erased? What if it's even way lower? What if we decide to sell, and now within a year from now, let's say your home was $250 when you bought it. That's kind of like realistic, mediocre range a few years back, and then now it's about $350, and then ends up being about $180, $170 in the next couple of years. It's just like the working class is taking it on the chin from every angle you can possibly imagine here. I mean, it is getting to the point that you have to understand it is deliberate. There is no way that you continue seeing inflation in the areas that you need the most, such as energy and food, and deflation in the area where most people own the most, such as bonds, 401ks, real estate, right? I talked about this. I listened to Bill Holter a while back, and he's the one that broke it down to me the best. He says you will see by design inflation of the things you need, keyword need, and deflation of the things you own. And to me, that breakdown made a lot of sense, because people in charge are beyond. These are some satanic people, okay? Let's just call it what it is. They are sadistic, satanic people that are running the show from both sides of the aisle, and they will not stop until most people are on their knees. Why? Because it's a lot easier to control masses when they are dependent, not independent, and of course when everyone is divided, like exactly down the middle, right? Divide and conquer tactics. It's just typical Marxism 101. They're using the same playbook, and they're really good at it. And it's now becoming more and more evident to a lot of people. So I don't believe that the Democrats, like I said at the beginning of this video, will go into midterms with all this mess. They have to do something. We're either not going to have midterms, you heard that correctly, if the Fed Reserve does not reverse course, is why I made my latest video. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Yeah. Doves. Dovish Fed. Yes, they have to. Even if they go 50 basis points, meaning half a percentage rate hike, that's already a pivot. Okay? It's what it is. The markets will know there is no such thing as temporary government program. Once they slow down with these rate hikes, that means they are not coming back up. Maybe they will start raising again if Republicans win general election 2 years from now. They might do that. But they're not going to be, I don't think, raising rates right now when 401ks are slashed in half. In some cases, people are down 70-80%. They have to float what they just did yesterday all day long. 4 different Federal Reserve employees, or you can call it gods, that's what these people believe they are. They were out there floating so many comments right now that signal they are done, okay? That they are getting worried that deflation is becoming a problem. Why? Because not it's because they're worried about you. They're worried about themselves, about the monopoly, about the control, because the borrowing stops. That's what these rate hikes are supposed to do, right? They're not fighting inflation, because this is all, the cat is out of the bag. There's just the CPI is way higher than 8.3% that they forecast. Even if it is at 8.3%, federal funds rate is just around whatever, 3.5%. They're nowhere close to really combat inflation. And look what's been going on to markets. You can't fix supply chain issues with rate hikes. Inflation is not going anywhere. Okay, it's actually going to be more persistent. We might see a little slowdown here and there, but I believe we are just at the beginning stages of inflation. So this is just all charade. They seem like they're supposed to be fighting it. They're supposed to be fighting this inflation before we got even over 4%. They should have been immediately starting to tighten and fix the issue, but they did not. Why? Because they want to destroy you. That's just the bottom line. So again, if we do not see Federal Reserve officially say next week, right before midterms, yeah, we're done. We might do one more rate hike, but that's it. We have an issue in borrowing, basically, because again, that's what these rate hikes are supposed to do: cool off markets, right? You get higher interest rates, for instance, on homes. That's why 30-year fixed mortgage now is over 7%. So people cannot afford buying homes, which, by the way, are still way overpriced, even with the significant downturn we're starting to notice in many pockets of the country. But they're still, in my opinion, way overpriced. And now on top of that, you're looking at what you would have thought maybe $1,500 or $2,000 payment is now doubled, or it's like, let's say $2,000, it's $3,000 payment now. So people are just opting out to wait. They're continuing to rent. They cannot own anything. Remember, you will own nothing and be happy. It's playing out right before our eyes. So Fed Reserve has to do something in order to protect those in the White House. And we all know the establishment always leans towards the Democrat side. It looks like they have a stronghold basically of everything. So they're going to support it. If by any chance they do not, then again, I will repeat it, we will not have midterms, because we will have major outbreak again with some virus, another scamdemic, lockdown, or war. So we're going to have to postpone midterms. They got something up their sleeve, and it's not October surprise with, Trump being subpoenaed and all this stuff that happened with Bannon and everything, what they're trying to distract you with. That's not the October surprise. October surprise is Federal Reserve reversing course, which is a big deal. Because now a lot of people that follow markets a little bit, especially those that understand it a lot more, are like, okay, so do I really want them to continue hiking rates, to continue raising rates, or do we want them to go back to quantitative easing, basically easy money, and cutting rates, so the 401ks start popping back up, and maybe we see the uptick back in real estate. So these equities / savings that people thought they have, now actually they do see them there, but people are realizing if they do go back to QE, which they will, that's basically hyperinflation. We are entering hyperinflationary environment because of all the money printing. So you will see your stock portfolio go up, but not as fast as the dollar, meaning your purchasing power is going down. You see how this works? It is perfect. It is so good that these people do need a Nobel, whatever the word is, some kind of prize to be as good of a crook as you can be, to so perfectly plan this to destroy the middle class. So yeah, October surprise, I think it's what we already witnessed yesterday with all these comments from the Fed Reserve. They might hike one more time, but they were going to say, and they are already saying, this is basically it, we have to slow it down. And they got exactly enough room now, 3.5% if they get up to 4%, to cut before general elections. So they can have 0.5%, maybe 4 times or so, 0.5% hike. You start doing it a few months before general elections, 401ks start going back up, and people don't even realize that their purchasing power is going to shit. So this is where I think once masses realize that the only thing that's going to be valuable, it's going to be something that's always been valuable, which is tangibles, which is physical, gold, silver. This is not investing advice at all, even though it may sound like it. It is not. I'm just telling you what I see here. And if you follow this video blog, you know I have been forecasting, unfortunately, a lot of things, if not all, that are coming straight right before your eyes. It is all playing out just like I have been laying it out. I've been telling you that the reset is communism. Unfortunately, it is, and you know it, and you better prepare, and you can only control what you can control. It doesn't matter what you have if you don't have protection. Okay? Protection. You have to be able to protect what's yours, and you got to be efficient with certain things. You know what I mean? You have to. You got to have the element of surprise. If someone knows that you're out of town, maybe it's a couple of nasty dogs in the house, a couple of pit bulls, whatever it is, you got to have surprise. Maybe a bear trap. I don't know. Have a couple of surprises. Make sure you have protection. You got security set in order. Okay? And you'll do a lot better than the masses. This thing is, I mean, look what's going on in Canada right now. I mean, how do you ignore what's happening right now, what that freak Trudeau is doing? First, they froze all those accounts that supported truckers, what they were doing. And now they're doing a national freeze of handguns. I'm not even sure if I can even use that word nowadays on YouTube. It might be censored. Yeah, so they are just disarming citizens. There are food supply chain issues. Farmers in Netherlands, check it out what's going on. Right now, they are going after farmers using force, taking their land away because of the climate change. This is global communism's. It's a takeover on a scale that has never been done before. Okay, that's why we've got so many farmlands right now, so many areas that are owned by Chinese. They have infiltrated United States because freaks in charge here are letting it happen. And who opened the floodgates for this was Bill Clinton in, I believe it was year 2000, so roughly 23 years ago, when he put China on the WTO, I think WTA, World Trade Agreement. Okay, this is where United States was lost. Not to mention when Tricky Dick Nixon took U.S. temporarily off the gold standard. But that's a whole different story now. Don't want to digress too much, but if you really look at it, it is all connected. Okay, I believe tangibles win in this decade and beyond, and you can ignore all this. You can continue ignoring. You can make fun of videos like this all you want, but I know deep down you are now getting scared because you know what's been going on. For all of you that come out on this channel and that send me messages on Twitter and Parler to make comments like, yeah, what a fool, you're preparing for nothing, everything is good. I know you are shitting in your pants as we speak, and honestly you should be, because you should have been preparing this whole time. Okay, and I hope you change your views right now and actually do something about it instead of sitting on your hands. I'm out.